Chapitre 6, Manoir Hawkins. Pierce surveillait dans un asile, installé dans les sous-sols de l'Institut Riverside. Il a rencontré le docteur Golden, une amie de Bradley, qui l'a aidé à s'échapper. En errant dans les couloirs de cet endroit où le docteur Fuller règne en maître, Pierce a pu parler à un homme nommé Francis Saunders. Avant de mourir sous les yeux du détective, il a accusé Sarah Hawkins d'être responsable de ses tourments. Pierce a finalement quitté l'endroit maudit en compagnie de Bradley et Golden. Les compagnons d'infortune décident d'utiliser le manoir Hawkins comme planque.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
On a nettoyé la baraque, hein?
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I saw people in hoods. They had stolen Mrs. Hawkins' paintings.
Who are you talking about? Why would they do such a thing?
I don't know, but they were a threat. They've taken over the caves under the mansion. They were performing some kind of ritual. One of the entryways was under Charles Hawkins' office.
We suspect Mr. Hawkins of being involved.
My patients believe the old islanders used to worship primitive sea gods. Could they be the focus of the cult?
Am I hearing this right?
So you think me gullible?
No, not at all.
What else did you uncover, Mr. Pierce?
Oh, merde, j'ai pas de score suffisant, mais c'est illégal.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
On dirait qu'il a pas trop aimé.
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
Mec, t'as un gros trou de mémoire, quoi.
Events of the tunnel.
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Il y a un gros trou de mémoire, là, le mec.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Est-ce
Most
qu'il
families are that way.
fait semblant d'avoir des trous de mémoire ou est-ce qu'il fait exprès? Ou est-ce qu'il a vraiment des trous de mémoire, je veux dire?
Yes. And as you could tell,
Est-ce que le flic est complice de tout ça ou pas? Même s'il est complice, on l'a quand même vu mourir.
I don't fear him.
Qu'il aurait été ramené à la vie? Ça peut paraître un peu étonnant.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
It makes sense. A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow a psychiatric internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins, subjects of Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming.
C'est sûr,
They
Magico.
injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine, horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
Par contre, ce qui me fait chier, c'est que j'ai pas pu utiliser le truc des vannes à gaz. Je sais pas ce que ça aurait fait.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
Il l'appelait le vagabond ou une crise... Une sorte de crise. Si je réponds ça, on va nous prendre pour un fou. En tout cas, le flic va nous prendre pour un fou, mais le docteur va peut-être nous croire, et encore je suis pas sûr. Si on répond ça, ça risque d'être trop vague et on risque de ne pas nous croire. Autant jouer à sa sincérité.
But something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Restons prudents. Vaut mieux éviter de dire la vérité là. Surtout si on veut récupérer un maximum d'infos.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Voilà, donc en fait, maintenant, ici, c'est devenu la zone safe, entre guillemets. Ouais, c'est ça. Chapitre 6, Résidence des Sanders. Pierce, Golden et Bradley sont à présent liés par l'affaire Sarah Hawkins. Ils décident de suivre la piste de Francis Sanders, collectionneur d'art et ami de la peintre, mort sous les yeux de Pierce. Ce dernier se rend à sa demeure pour interroger sa veuve sur le vagabond dont le malheureux a parlé avant de mourir.
What can I do for you, sir?
Oui, une sorte de QG là. Ouais.
I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
Ah,
That is precisely what brings me here.
elle est déjà au courant.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had
Comment est-ce que c'est qu'on lui a parlé le jour de sa mort? Comment elle sait ça?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders.
Je veux dire, personne n'est au courant à part nous-mêmes qu'on était présents, ainsi que les deux, le médecin et le flic.
He suffers no longer. If
À qui on a dit?
such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe.
Je crois qu'elle tremble au niveau des jambes.
I need to understand. How could this happen in a reputed institute?
Je crois qu'elle tremble vraiment au niveau de ses jambes.
Right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
Je ne suis pour rien, le responsable, c'est moi qui... Je n'avais rien fait pour lui venir en aide. Je n'y suis pour rien. Le vrai responsable, c'est Fuller, ou ce n'est pas moi qui l'ai envoyé là-bas. Ce n'est pas moi qui l'ai envoyé là-bas, clairement, c'est pas une excuse. Elle nous demande pourquoi est-ce qu'on n'a rien fait. Dire que c'est pas nous qui l'avons envoyé, c'est comme dire je m'en bats les couilles. C'est pas ce qu'elle veut entendre. On va avoir quelque chose à cacher quand même. Ouais, c'est ça, je suis là. Je n'ai su pour rien où le vrai responsable c'est Fuller. Mais clairement, on peut. Il n'y a pas le choix qui est. On ne pouvait rien faire. C'est ça qui est chiant.
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me, his own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
Elle continue à avoir les jambes qui tremblent, hein.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed
bonne fin de
him with the privilege
nuit.
of such a shameful and miserable end.
C'est bonne nuit à toi, Jet, parce que moi la nuit, on n'est même pas à la moitié. Hein.
By Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Ok.
Did she really care for him after all?
Ouais, ils veulent pas remettre le corps du cadavre du mari.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Succès déverrouillé, touche à tout. Pourquoi c'est Halloween gamin. Alors, je te demanderai, Magico, aujourd'hui c'est quel jour et mes streams, c'est quoi le thème de mes streams? Tu auras la réponse.
House of Artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Pourquoi est-ce qu'il y a un placard pour se cacher ici?
He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated. The Shambler. I need to see it.
Tu sais, Magico, comme je l'ai déjà dit, répéter, et je commence à en avoir plus que marre, je vais pas tarder à remettre les bots, mais en version méchant. Et comme ça, plus personne ne parlera et moi ça me dérangera pas. Mais au moins vous respecterez le thème du chat. Sachant que ceux qui me provoquent comme tu le fais, Magico, se reprendront une encore plus grosse que les autres.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Il nous faut un phonographe. On a un phonographe ici.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back.
Le mec il est quand même... il psychote à mort, le mec.
Valerie, those accursed paintings, that accursed Sarah.
Ce mec psychote à mort. Par contre, il doit y avoir d'autres cylindres. Quelque part dans la baraque. Parce que là, ça nous proposait de sélectionner le cylindre. Bon, il s'agit de pas se tromper de pièce. Là, c'est la porte d'entrée. Pourquoi? Parce que je vais aller dans... là où il y a tous les tableaux, alors, en dernier. Pourquoi? Parce que je fouillais avant.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Donc elle a refusé pendant un bon moment de vendre sa toile et en fin de compte, elle a vendu la toile. Mais pourquoi?
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
Pourquoi avoir vendu cette toile qu'elle a refusé de vendre? Succès déverrouillé au-delà du réel. C'est une sorte d'encyclopédie de créatures monstrueuses et inconnues. Je commence à croire qu'elles existent. Ah merde. Eh merde. Et voilà. On va voir sur une question anatomique. Putain de bordel de la merde. Il a fallu que j'augmente la folie de mon perso. « 8 points dépensés. Ah merde. On fait des cauchemars. Le rituel interrompu. Macabre découverte. La mort de Francis Saunders. Malleus Bestiarum. Il nous en manque un du début et il nous reste tout ça. On est dans la merde. Oh putain. Oh putain de bordel de merde. Comme ça, on augmente notre investigation et notre psychologie. Pour être un peu meilleur, on va dire.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Oui, Magico, j'ai fait grimper mon niveau de folie.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself. If the last beating wasn't enough for you,
je sais
I
pas,
can always give it
Albus.
another go. But as long
Je
as
pensais
you
que
keep out
non,
of my
mais on
way,
dirait que oui.
you're free to carry on with your visit.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network, and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say? Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder. Go take a hike, detective.
Si je le prends comme ça, nous... Hop là. Y'a que nous qui pouvons accéder ici. Ouais, y'a encore un placard ici. C'est de la merde.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
J'aime bien cette dague. Putain, mais les gens qui ont ce genre de truc chez eux, quoi. Mais sérieux, c'est un musée ou quoi? Ils ont un musée chez eux. Mais sérieux, quoi. Merde. Respect pour ceux qui n'ont pas ce genre de truc. Oh, le couteau, là. Donne envie. La médecine légale, je sais pas. Je pense que ça, c'est bon, mais après ça, je peux pas l'augmenter. Moi, ce qui je me pose comme question, c'est pourquoi il a un musée chez lui. Quoi?
The public entrance to the gallery.
Qui a un musée chez lui, quoi? Bon, il nous reste qu'un seul truc à voir. Ça. Non, je sais quand même. Et Gwegwe. Confirme, c'est là que les placards vont être utiles là. pas que je suis là.
I can't even touch it. No way out. No choice. I must get rid of it.
Oups! 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 Aïe, aïe, aïe! Je suis mort.
What the hell was that?
Je pensais que la lumière en bas ça pourrait être pour tirer, mais non, que dalle.
What the hell was that?
Mais putain, mais pourquoi est-ce qu'on a, à ce moment-là, de quoi remplir notre lampe torche? C'est une connerie de remplir notre lampe torche.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Ne me dites pas qu'il va falloir que j'utilise des dagues sur le tableau du fond. Ah, ça déconne, ça va être chaud quoi. J'ai envie de faire un test. Ça vous dérange les gens si je fais un test? Ok, mauvaise idée le test. Je vais quand même y aller.
Damn it!
Mauvaise lame.
Dagger didn't work.
C'était une mauvaise lame. Non, il faut que j'utilise une dague claire avant. Mais il faut que je trouve laquelle est la bonne. Je t'ai mindé. Je t'ai mindé. Oups.
Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
Je vais voir. À tous les coups, je vais planter toutes tes dagues, bordel de merde. Vas-y, hein. Mais comment il sait? Non, non. Ouais, mais je pense que c'est ce qu'il faut faire, Maliko. Hein. Pas être loop. Je pense que c'est ça. Hein. C'est la strat. C'est-à-dire
Maybe
hop.
I can use this dagger.
Oups. Bonne nuit, Elbus. Donc, on sait que c'est pas cette lame. Tu me le douleur, non, mais j'ai pas envie de me faire chier, Virgile, à me cacher dans les placards. Merde. Sachant qu'on peut recharger notre lampe torche, mais je vois pas l'utilité.
Maybe I can use this dagger.
Ah non, t'as cette bague. Oups. Non, tu vas pas la même.
This dagger didn't work.
Ah non, on va tester cette dague là.
Damn it! I have to use a specific dagger.
Ah, je vais utiliser toutes les dagues, hein. M'en bats les couilles. M'en bats les couilles, on va tout utiliser, hein. On trouvera la bonne dague. M'en bats les couilles, on va la trouver cette bonne dague.
This dagger looks different.
Ah! Il a dit que celle-là semblait différente. Ah ben voilà.
What's the matter with you?
C'est que c'est déverrouillé de l'au-delà.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
Je vois mal nous filer info gratuitement.
Information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.